Good day, everyone. My name is Nicole Kwan Zhi Lin, matrix number 263184. Today, I will be talking about the process involved in construction technology. Project life cycle. In general, there are 5 phases in the project life cycle. The first one would be initiation phase. The second one is planning phase. Third one is execution phase. Fourth, performance and monitoring phase. And fifth, closure phase. Initiation phase. At this stage, the project objective or need is identified. This can be a business problem or opportunity. A suitable response to the need is documented in a business case with recommended solution options. A feasibility study is conducted to examine whether each option clearly identifies the project objective and a final recommended solution is determined. When a solution is approved, a project is initiated to implement the approved solution. At this stage, the major deliverables and the participating work groups are identified. This is the time when the project team begins to take shape. Approval is then required by the project manager to move on to the detailed planning phase. Planning phase. The planning phase involves further development of the project in detail to meet the project's objective. The project's task and resource requirements are identified along with the strategy for producing them. In a broader sense, identification of each activity as well as their resource allocation is also carried out at this phase. A project plan outlining the activities, tasks, dependencies, and also timeframes are created. At this point, the project would have been planned in detail and is ready to be executed. Execution phase. During this phase, the project plan is put into motion and the work of the project is performed practically on site. It is essential to maintain control and communicate as needed during each implementation stages. Progress should be continually monitored and appropriate adjustments are also made and recorded as variances from the original plan. During the project implementation, people carry out the task and progress information is being reported through regular project team meetings. The project manager uses this information to preserve control over the direction of the project to measure the performance of the project activities. If any deviation is found from the already defined plan, corrective measures are made. Status reports should always highlight the probable endpoint in terms of cost, schedules, quality deliverables, and each project deliverable produced should be reviewed for quality and measured against the acceptance criteria. And also, when deliverables have been produced and the customer has agreed on the final solution, the project is said to be ready for closure. Performance and monitoring phase. This stage is all related to the measurement of progress and performance to make sure that items are tracking with the project management scheduling. This phase regularly happens at the same time as the execution phase. Closure phase. During this phase, final deliverables are provided to the customer. This includes handing over project documentation to the business, termination of supplier contracts, releasing project resources, conduct lessons learned studies to examine what went well and what didn't, and also communicate the closure of the project to all stakeholders. Activities involved during the construction project. The first one would be marking and grading. Marking is one of the first construction activities which involves marking the area of the plot for reference. This helps the workers to always be able to orient themselves in terms of their workspace. Grading helps to ensure that buildings are even, last long, and maintain maximum support. It is a matter of safety and plays a major role in construction management. Grading uses big machines to help ensure the space is level and that it is at the appropriate angle that it is supposed to be. Excavation. In general, the term involves moving earth or rocks out of a certain area to prepare it for construction. This includes basement excavation, which digs the earth out to prepare for a basement to be built. It also includes mud, rock, and also topsoil excavation, all of which includes removing the substance from a workplace. Concreting. The process of pouring concrete is another major activity in construction. It is often used for the base of buildings, for roads, bridges, pipes, and many other applications. One of the reasons why it has become popular in the construction industry is that concrete is easy to make in large quantities and changes state, so it is easy to work with and manipulate. Next would be carpentry. One of the first activities that comes to many people's mind when construction is mentioned is carpentry. This is a general cutting and installing of materials that we will use for further construction in the structure. Carpentry used to be a word that only described individuals working with wood specifically, but now carpentry means working with several different materials. Plumbing. In structures that require plumbing, there are specific plumbing activities that must occur to ensure that they will function properly. This includes putting in piping, fixtures, and both incoming potable water and outgoing waste. Brickmanship. Bricks have been used in construction for decades and are still used often today as a highly efficient material. Brick masons lay the bricks, ensuring that they are laid in a way which is structurally sound. For example, laying each brick on top of one another allows the cracks to go along the entire wall. If the bricks are offset, as you see often, it makes severe cracking of the mortar less likely. Welding. The activity of attaching two metals together using heat is welding, a crucial action in construction used to bind metals, especially for structural purposes. There are different types of welding which can be used for different types of metals and different conditions. All welding is extremely skilled and can be difficult to master. It is dangerous, so it is important that construction companies have strict safety guidelines for this. Electrical. Individuals working as electricians on a construction project are responsible for ensuring that the structure will ultimately have full access to electric from the transformer provided by the electric company, which is located close to the building. There are several steps that go into the installation of electricity in a building, including temporary electricity needs, a rough installation, and finally a real installation which will be used. Next is roof laying. Roofing is an important construction activity for ensuring that the protection of the structure from the elements and can help provide stability for the structure. There are different methods used for roofing. Shingles are common for residential roof, but there are also metal, polycarbonate, and steel roof as well as many others which are used for different purposes. Glazing. The activity is basically anything to do with glass windows and doors in a construction project. This term is used broadly to reference the installation of pretty much any glass involved in the construction of a particular structure. Next, finishing. Finishing in a construction means putting on the final touches of the structure in order to prepare it to be used. This includes but is not limited to activities like glazing, flooring, painting, wallpapering, and also plastering. It is most often about final aesthetic touches and slightly less about safety and function. Although all finishing activities are a crucial part of the final construction product. Key players. Key players include owner, construction manager, general contractor, subcontractor, architect or engineer, designer, insurance companies, suppliers, bank, public, and also construction labor force. Owner. The owner is also called a client. The owner is the person who actually arranges money for a particular project. The owner also is a real instinct who has to launch the idea. Owner may be a person or government who provides funds. The owner is a funding agency for the project, which scope definition is also provided by the owner. Next, construction manager. The construction manager is the person who actually coordinates the construction process on behalf of the owner, assigned to deal and manage all the things related to construction. Third one, general contractor. The person who actually executes the contract. The general contractor also negotiates with the client and the key person who is responsible to change dream of the owner into a physical shape. The contractor is assigned the whole job, where he needs direction from engineers and also clients. Assure work to be done completed on time was specified, must use tools and plant at the site which was specified at the time of the contract, and also must arrange labor force. These are all the jobs of the general contractor. Subcontractor is also known as special contractor. They actually provide facilities to the general contractor for the sub-projects. The subcontractor's task includes electric wiring, plumbing, air conditioning supply, woodwork, paint, providing soil for project, and also steel fixing. Architect or engineer. In this case, architect or engineer acts as a consultant. On behalf of the owner, they will take responsibility of the owner to undertake the smooth execution of the project. Coordinates with the contractor. Designer. Designer may be an architect or an engineer. He designs the project on the basis of his previous experiences and must have pre-qualification. The designer owner will select a designer which is expert in his work. Insurance company. These companies provide big bond facilities, performance bond, and also payment bond by the contractor to the owner. Bank. The bank will allow funding on behalf of the client. The client uses his bank account to provide money for the project. Another key player are the suppliers. These are actually the people who provide construction materials such as bricks, concrete, and cement, and etc. Next, the public. Public is also a project player. During making of a project, the public might face difficulty, but when it completes, then the public can enjoy all the facilities. Construction labor force. This construction labor force includes the masons, brick stone masons, block masons, and also cement masons. Carpenters, construction equipment operator, electricians, fixers or steel fabricator, glaziers, and also painters, and also plumbers. Project planning and controlling. Planning phase. In the planning phase, planning is made and strategies are set, taking into consideration of the company policies, procedures, and also all the rules. Planning provides direction, unifying framework, performance standards, and helps to review future opportunities and also threats. Steps in planning. The objective of the project is indefinite words. Second, goals and stages intermediate to attain the final state target. Third, forecast and means of achieving goals, for example, all the activities done. Fourth, organization resources like financial, managerial, and operational to carry out activities and to determine what is feasible and what is not feasible. Fifth, alternative individual courses of action that will allow accomplishing goals. Sixth, for consistency with company's policy. And seventh, an alternative which is not only consistent with the goals and concept but also one that can be accomplished with the evaluated resources. The three types of planning. There are three types. First, forward planning, backward planning, and also combined planning. First one, forward planning. Forward planning is when the planner starts from the initial event and builds up the events and activities logically and sequentially until the end event is reached. Like they ask questions like what event comes next, what are dependent events, and also what events can take place concurrently. Second, backward plan. The planner starts with the end event and arranges the events and activities until the initial event is ultimately reached. The planner asks itself if want to achieve this, what events or activities should have taken place. Third one, combined planning. Combined planning is a combination of both forward planning and also backward planning. At any stage, the planner needs to traverse the network back and forth several times until it is found to be satisfactory. Among the questions asked during this is what event or events must be completed before the particular event can start. Or like, what event or events follow this? Or what simultaneously events can be accomplished? Third, so the resource involved is manpower, material, machine, time, and also money. Project controls. Project controls are processes for gathering and analyzing project data to keep costs on schedules on track. The function of project controls includes initiating, planning, monitoring and controlling, communicating and closing out project costs and schedules. Ultimately, project controls are iterative processes for measuring project status, forecasting likely outcomes based on those performance if those projected outcomes are unacceptable. Activities under the umbrella of project controls. Aligning projects with portfolio or organizational goals and objectives, developing a work breakdown structure WBS, and also collaborating on initial project schedules, developing a risk management plan, and next, project budgeting and forecasting, monitoring project costs, feedback and reporting, and also optimizing project strategies to enable better outcomes in the future. A successful construction. What makes a construction project successful? Considering how buildings deliver business benefit to their owners over their lifespan is the essential starting point of the assessment of a project success. Doing so, consideration of the creation of value relating of both the operation and the building and its effect on third parties helps ensure that proper consideration is made of the full impact of project. Factors such as efficiency of the building, location, and the quality of the space all affects the financial value of the project. In the longer run, sustainable dimensions such as lifetime carbon emission define the success of buildings. Successful project creates intangible benefits as well. A grand investment has a broad impact upon its surrounding and community. Particular projects can have positive effects on the development of the surrounding through design quality and the enhancement of the energies. Operating as a stepping stone, big projects create thousands of jobs and improve the infrastructure for further development. How to make a construction project successful? Implement continuous planning. Construction managers should start planning long before project begins and continue to revise and develop the plan until the project ends. The design, pre-construction and procurement stages of each construction project should require immense planning, and each may need to be revised as the next phase begins. Next, build an effective communication flow. Communication is crucial in every phase of any construction project. Building an effective communication flow will facilitate coordination between all parties. Transparent communication will make the process smoother and reduce the number of emails and phone calls whenever there is an issue. Reevaluate your workflow. Without a complete assessment, you will never know what you can improve for better profits. The best way to have successful construction project is to continually evaluate the way you manage it. Ask involved parties to provide feedback on your workflow. And that is all from me. Thank you.